Just when you thought that the establishment Democrats and the Democrat leadership couldn't get any more um, politically correct, any more yellow belly, any more cowardly, any more spineless, they prove it again. And I'm going to turn the tables on these people. Now, they are calling Representative Ian Omar anti Semitic because she had said that you've got politicians in the United States who are more concerned about Israel and less concerned about America. And what she said is right. She's absolutely right. You got politicians on the left and the right who are taking millions and billions of dollars from Zionist organizations, APAC, and all this stuff. Um, and their sole purpose is, you know, trying to make sure that American politicians are doing their best for Israel, going to more wars on behalf of Israel, going into more debt on behalf of Israel, bending over backwards over Israel. This has been a problem ever since the 1960s. And Ian Omer, somebody who I'm not a fan of, I think she's vulgar. I think she's probably believes in Sharia law, and I've criticized Islam, and the left has called me a racist for criticizing this. I'm not a fan of her, but you know what? I'm going to, when someone is right and someone is saying the right thing, I'm going to acknowledge it. And she said the right thing, and everyone is now calling her anti-Semitic. So you got Nancy Pelosi and everybody rushing as fast as they can to condemn Ian Omar for anti-Semitism. She's a racist for saying that American politicians are too closely subservient to Israel. That's anti. You can't say that. Even though the Orthodox Jews, who are the most hardcore Jews, say that Israel is an abomination. But let me just turn this back on the Democrats and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, all this leadership who want to stifle free speech in their party, just like they want to stifle free speech in America. You guys are actually anti Russian. You're anti Russian. Nancy Pelosi hates Russian people. Chuck Schumer hates Russian people. Cory Booker hates Russian people. Maxine Waters hates Russian people. Cor- uh, uh, what's her name? The one whose voice I can't stand. What's her name? Kamala Harris hates Russian people. All of them. Everybody who is lining up saying that Russia and Trump and Putin and Trump are too closely related. Anybody who says that is racist against Russian people. Russian people, take note. Anybody who has one sliver of Russian in them, take note. The Democrats and the never Trump Republicans, they think that you are dirt. They don't like you. They hate you. That's the truth. That is according to the Democrats. If you criticize a government official, a president, a congressman, a senator, anybody who appears to be too closely um, close with another country, whether it's Trump and Russia or the Republican establishment neocons and the left, well, not really so much the left, but mostly the neocons, and Israel, then you criticize that, then you are racist against that country. That's what all these people are saying. That's what all the neocons are saying. That's what the left and the Democrats are saying. You cannot criticize the closeness and the apparent appeasement of American politicians over another country because you are racist against people of that country if you do so. That's what they're saying. Who's gonna? Can I? Hey, change my mind. I'm gonna be like Crowder now. Change my mind. Did I say anything that's wrong? I didn't say anything that's wrong. Everything I just said is true because Ian Omar has said that there are too many politicians in the United States, and I would go further to say it's not just the United States, it's Canada, it's in here in Canada too, it's Europe, it's all these politicians. They take billions of dollars from Zionist lobby groups and from Zionist groups, and in turn, they are more they are more appeased to the people of Israel, whether it's going to wars, whether it's going into debt, all this sort of stuff. They are more appeased to Israel than they are to America. And I would even put Trump in that position too. And I'm still a supporter of Trump, but for him to go on to this political correct bandwagon when every time he has spoken, words have come out of this man's mouth, people have condemned him to hell for it. It's really disappointing for Trump to do this. For Trump to call this woman and he's probably doing it for political reasons. He doesn't really believe she's anti-Semitic. He's not that stupid. I mean, he's doing this to get the Jewish vote. And to be honest, most of the Jewish people are not. A lot of Jews aren't Zionists. The hardcore Orthodox Jews are not Zionists. They condemned Zionism. And you got Christian Zionists, and you've even got a few Muslim Zionists. I was actually in a debate with he says he's Islamic and he supports Israel. So it's not Zionism and Judaism is not the same thing. So people who call me anti-Semitic and Ronnie Cameron anti-Semitic and others, they're stupid. They don't know anything. But for Trump to go on to this bandwagon and call this woman anti-Semitic when he knows that's a load of crock, and he knows that every time he has said things, people take it out of context and call him a racist, is a bit disappointing. It's a bit sellout. It's a bit of a sellout. And I think Trump should really, really think twice before condemning people as racist or anti-Semitic, because people do that to him on a daily basis. They do it to him on a daily basis, and I have defended him. I have defended Trump when he talked about building the wall, because it needs to be built, and when he said that when Mexico sends its people, they don't send their best, they're sending drugs, they're sending crime, they're rapists, and everyone called him a racist, and I defended him. And many other people defended you, Donald Trump, when they were calling you a racist, and you were speaking the truth. You weren't saying anything racist about Mexicans, you were speaking the truth. And you were speaking the truth when you said that we need to ban certain people from certain countries until we find out what's going on. You were speaking the truth about these Muslims. And I defended you. I defended you. You were speaking the truth when you said that, many of these calling companies, these phone companies where you have to call and get customer support, many of them are going to India and these places, and they said you were racist again. I defended you. And on everything, when you were speaking and you spoke in a politically incorrect way, whether it was grabbing woman by the pussy and all that stuff, I knew what you were saying. You weren't saying anything about grabbing women by no pussy. You were saying that when people are famous, it's almost like as if women will let you grab them by the pussy. That's what you were saying. You weren't saying that you do it. You're just saying that's what happens. And it's true, and I defended you. So now, Donald, you cannot go up on national television and use your bully pulpit to call someone else racist when they're speaking the truth. Donald Trump, don't do that. Don't do that. Stop going into this political crap. I still support you. Most of what you have done as president is good. You brought jobs back to America. You are lowering the illegal immigration, and you are working towards getting people who are financially independent to come to America and who can understand English and all that stuff. I applaud you for that. And it doesn't look like there's anyone else who is of any honor who could stand against you. So I still support you. But do not go on this bandwagon and say that this woman hates Jews because she is stating a fact that many people in the American government and all over the world are more appeased towards Israel and bend over backwards for Israel because they get billions of dollars from AIPAC and other Zionist groups. And for all of you Democrats out there who are trying to condemn this woman for speaking the truth, you all hate Russians. You're all racist against Russians. And the mainstream media is racist against Russians. Chris Matthews is racist against Russians. Wolf Blitzer is racist against Russians. Uh, Chuck Todd is racist against Russians. And Cuomo is racist against Russians. Rachel Maddow is racist against Russians. All of these people who have come out and said they want a Russian, Trump is colluding with Russians and this and that, and he's colluding with Putin, and he's bending over backwards for Putin. If Ilhan Omar is racist and anti-Semitic for calling out people who are bending over backwards for Israel, you all are racist for for accusing Trump of bending over backwards for Russia. And you all aren't even speaking the truth. There's no evidence that Trump is speaking out or bending over backwards for Russia and Putin. This investigation has been going on for how many? 3 years now. And y'all ain't found a stitch of evidence. Not one coat hanger of evidence. Not one dust bunny of evidence. Nothing. But the American people are paying billions and billions in this useless investigation, bringing out Stormy Daniels, that whore, and that criminal lawyer Cohen. All these people coming out and they're saying nothing. Nothing is going on with Trump and Russia. And y'all are saying there needs to be an investigation. But then you want to censor Ilhan Omar for speaking something that has been proven to be true, that the American government is not only in bed with Israel, but is sucking off Israel and spitting on the American people with debt and more wars and more people all over Israel. And y'all saying she's an anti-Semite. It's a disgrace. I ain't never seen anything like this in all my days. And I'm sure you're going to get some white knight, alt-light Zionist, boomer people coming out, cussing me out, calling me a racist and anti-Semite now. Go ahead. I don't care. I've dealt with this, with the leftists all my life. Or not all my life, all of my YouTube life. Think I give a damn about you all? Y'all are a bunch of hypocrites, you. Y'all are a bunch of snowflake, triggly puff, triggered little soy drinking, false conservatives. You ain't got nothing against me. So that's what I have to say on this. Bunch of hypocrites. This is the Arana Nation.